Okay, we're gonna officially start the meeting. There's only 3 of us here today, and I don't know. That's because we had a task or everybody's just too busy tonight. But I just wanted to talk a little bit tonight about our why and why it's so darn important. I'm gonna mute you guys, and if you want to pop in, just wave to me. Before we kind of have the discussion piece, but it should be a quick discussion. But anyway, so the reason why I want to talk about this and extend it, because not everybody came and watched the Simon Sinek video, so I want to talk about that too, like for those of us that are here and kind of what your thoughts are on it. But I want to talk about the 2 reasons why a why is important, and his reason was because people don't care what we're doing. They don't care what you do, they care why you're doing it. So in direct sales, it doesn't really matter what your product is. I really don't think. I mean, I'm obviously really passionate about Younique. I'm really passionate about the company. I love our products, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be, promoting them. But it's bigger than that. And I think we all know that it's bigger than the mascara. We're here for bigger reasons. And if we are doing this more than just as like a hobby, and we want to make it into a business, then we have goals, we have a mission, and we have a why, whatever that is. And we talked about that last time, and we talked about kind of my why and how it's changed over the last couple of years, and it's going to change and it's going to develop, but it's kind of always sort of stayed the same in the sense that I wanted this freedom. Like the overall goal is this freedom, but then there's things that came along the way. And my why, and the why it's so important for you to know what that is because sometimes it's not going to be easy. The business aspect is not going to be easy. Sales aren't going to come in like it's hot every single month. Sometimes you're going to be just like dying because you have no idea what to do next. You feel like you've pulled and done everything. You're going to struggle because you're comparing yourself. I mean, this is not an easy road, and there are going to be days that you're uninspired. And so your why is what's going to get you and pull you out of bed and make you keep going. So I was actually listening to You Are a Badass again. I watched like that book. I'll never just stop talking about it. But she was, where was it? Oh man, I lost my train of thought. Hold on, I had a thought and it's gone. It totally just like went out of my head. And it was with You Are a Badass and I don't know. I'm gonna come back to it because I'll figure it out. But anyways, so it's just not always gonna feel great every single day. So you have to have a reason why you're always doing this, why you're gonna get out of bed to do this, why, because inspiration doesn't just come, motivation doesn't just come, it comes from action. And so we just have to keep going. And so that's really important. So you know why you're working, you know why you're here every day, you know why you're showing up, so that when it's not as easy, you kind of recognize, but I still got to do this. It's kind of like that idea of like, if you hate your job or your job's really not that great, but you have to go because you should make money for your family. That's your why. Whether or not it's an inspirational why, your why is because you have to make money for your family. You have to have a job. You have to get your kids to school because you could get truancy fines, or your kids need that education. Like you have a why for everything, so that's why you follow through. So it's super important to have something that you're passionate about and a reason that you're here, so that when it's hard, you keep going. The other piece of that, and this is going to be something that, especially if you're new, is going to continue to build and over time. And that's what the video from Simon Sinek is about, is that, again, they don't care what you're doing, they care why you do it. They don't care that you're selling unique products. And actually, especially when you're first starting, they're probably going to be like a little put off. I shouldn't say probably, but it just seems like that's a message that some of us get at first, or at least a fear that we have of a message that we're going to get, because so many people are getting into different direct sales companies, so many people are doing it wrong, so many people give up or get involved in several direct sales companies at once, so then nobody really takes it seriously. And um, and so you have to kind of fight this stigma as soon as you kind of come out, and so you have to find what sets you apart. What is your mission? What is your statement? What are you going to send out into the universe? And I know with you two girls, we've talked about this, and I know that this is something like that, so we can relate on this, is confidence. We want to build confidence in other women. Through this journey, we're building confidence in ourselves, and so we are like hoping to build that to women around us. And I think that's a pretty common theme for a lot of us in the company, because that's what Makeup helps us do, but also because that's what our company is all about: empowering, uplifting, and validating women. And so my whole mission, so like in the past year, I've been working on like what is my brand, so to speak. What do I want people to think of when they think of me? Well, I want them to think of Unique, but I also want them to think of somebody that's strong, that wants to help others, that helps other women feel confident and beautiful and inspiring, like all of these things that encompass all of that. So when I was creating my new brand for my website name, that's why I went like when I first began, you can kind of see that transition from Casey's Unique Boutique, which had like nothing, like no power behind it. It was just a play with words, to Regal Beauty, which is, royalty, and treat yourselves like royalty, and just feeling that, that way. And then Kindred Beauties from Lash Divas, which has never been me, just not knowing when I created those names and that brand, I didn't know what I was doing, nor what I wanted to do with my company or my name or my brand. I was like, I'm just gonna slay makeup and I don't know, like I didn't know. So this is an ongoing journey, and I'm not saying that you should have your why all figured out, or like what your mission statement should be, or anything like that. But I think it's important to be thinking about it all the time, and that I think it's going to continue to grow. And I think you need to focus your energy onto that as you're building yourself, because your brand is going to be really important. And there's the Boss Babe Branding Challenge, if you're interested. Actually, I should probably go through that again too, so maybe we should consider doing that again as a team, for those that are interested. But it's a way to brand yourself so people can kind of see you differently, because they're like I say this over and over, and you've heard this a million times, but they're not necessarily just buying the Unique product. They have to like it, of course, but they're really buying into you. That's what keeps them coming back. That's what keeps them. That's when they join your team, is they're joining you. They're not joining Unique typically. I mean, sometimes it happens that way, but typically it's joining you and what you're building. And they see you, oh, she's actually working. I really admire how much she's putting into her journey, and that she's never giving up. So I'd like to work with her, versus somebody who, is just selling it for fun and has you know what I mean? Like, I've had people want to inquire about my business even though their best friend is doing it, because they see that I'm passionate and actually working my business, versus some of the gals that are just like laughing at graphics. So that's why I feel like this is a really important topic, and why I wanted to continue it into this week. And I want to kind of talk about this ongoingly, because I want to talk about goals and the bigger picture, and I have some ideas moving forward. But I want this to be a meeting, so I want to hear from you guys. And Stephanie, maybe we can start with you. Like, you don't have to tell us, you can tell us whatever you want based on this conversation, but if you watch the video, what your thoughts are, or what your why is, or can you share anything on that?
Mute me. Oh, there I am. I'm like, I won't unmute. My why is to help women be more confident. More confident myself, because right now, like my videos, I'm scared shitless, not for lack of a better term. And then like extra money, and meeting all you guys is a bonus too.
Yeah.
I never would have. I knew Mandy, but I never would have met you or Emily or anybody else on the team if it wasn't for this. I don't know.
And that's okay. You don't have to know it all. Like it's just a growing. I think it's gonna grow. Like that's kind of, I just knowing like do you feel like that why, like I don't know, I guess you don't have to answer this, but like getting to that point, like if that why is strong enough that when things are tough, that it wouldn't, you're like, just keep going anyways. You know what I mean? Like, because my mission is bigger than when it gets hard. Like,
yeah, like this month was really, really tough. Like you can ask Mandy, I'm really discouraged about this month because I really didn't have many sales. And I really wanted to get blue and I really wanted to get that trunk, and I'm all bummed out that I'm not going to get that trunk, but it is what it is. Next month.
Yes.
Got to push forward and think of next month.
And it's all a growing thing, and we're all still learning together. And you really did come in just exploding, like, and not everybody's business goes that well at first. So you're really, really fortunate in that, that you had that much success to begin with. It's also hard though when it's been so good at the beginning, and then you see kind of it.
Then it slows down.
Because then you're like, well, it's not supposed to be like that, but it is like that sometimes. And that's not to say you shouldn't still try to find different ways and whatever, but it's going to happen that way. So that doesn't mean it's going to continue to be like that. It doesn't mean that this is the way it's going to be forever. It just means that a little, it just goes down a little bit and then it'll go back up. And there are certain months that really, really kill the business. And there's a month, November wasn't that good this year. Like it was supposed to be. We were all hyping it up, and it wasn't as good. And I was talking to my teams about that, and it was because of the election, which I didn't realize. But I was like, because we were doing anything and everything, and it just wasn't a good month. But it was because people weren't buying because of the election, which I don't understand, but that's the reality. So like it just happened. So just knowing that your why is big enough and good enough, not good enough, but big enough to you and your soul and your heart that you're attached to it enough that you're just going to keep going. And this is why I feel like it's so important to understand that and to keep building on that. So, did you get a chance to watch the video?
I did.
What'd you think?
There's a lot of good information in there. It'd be good to go back and like when you get discouraged, just to watch it again. Yeah, it's good to watch it because it's kind of it's definitely inspirational because there's so many good points that he has in that video.
And I think he talks a lot about that scientific side of it and the brain. And you think of the Wright brothers and that whoever the other guy was that was all this money to create this plane or to whatever. And but then there's also that spiritual side of it, like the energy and the spiritual side of it, like that it's scientific, but it's also that, you know what I mean? Like they had a soul and a heart for it, and they didn't care. Yep. Like versus like this guy's energy was like money hungry and fame. So,
yeah, they wanted more, so they made it happen.
Right. So it's just a different way to think about it. So, yeah. Mandy, would you like to share anything? I know you shared a lot last time, so it's pretty. Got it, but.
I think as a leader, I just didn't realize I've been doing my why, and I actually had started that before, and like doing my posts and stuff, because I always have to remember to go back to that, and like I try to make sure like at least once or twice a month I was putting my why in there. You know what I mean? Like posting a picture of like my kids, and I'm always saying my why, and then like that gets like interaction and stuff. But then being a leader of a team, it was kind of different because I was reaching out to people trying to see, you know, if they've watched the video and they forgot. So I'd tag them, and like just trying to keep everyone in tune, because when people join, it gets overwhelming with all of the stuff. And then we throw this at them, and then they're like, I'm like, and then why did you start? And then so that kind of like, they're like, well, I'll get back to you. So then I was able to learn everyone else's why. And that's why I did that little video thing, because there isn't like a huge team yet. I won't be able to do that probably later on, but just to have a few of that and like share with others like their why, because well, all of our whys were different, and it was kind of cool that like most people, even if they're kidnappers, got back to me and said, yeah, you can share my photo, and this is my favorite, and this is my why. So I kind of wanted people, I like sharing everyone else, like Stephanie and Sarah and everyone else's whys too, because I thought that was kind of like, because I remember, I think it was you did that last summer, and I kind of like inspired me to do it for myself, because I'm just not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my team. And as it grows bigger, like I need to keep that fire burning, because it like Stephanie came in and she was like on fire. When I started, I felt like it was really hard. Like every step was hard for me, and I just kept going. And it took me like a whole entire year to like set off or do anything. So I have to go back to that, because when I get a promotion, I have to go back to my why. So it's really good that you brought this back.
Good. I'm glad that you like that. By the way, I meant to mention, and sometimes like I'm so bad at like sometimes commenting on things. Like I said, that video was awesome. That was really cool. And I love that you included kidnappers, because I think that's so good for people that are watching. You know what I mean? Like your circle or whatever that can see. I'm sorry, I'm distracted because I forgot that I had seen a post that reminded me of you, but and I wanted to share it, but yeah, I thought that was really neat that your kidnappers got back to you. Where is this? Did you see this about the lady that they featured in the Unique Presenters family?
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna look for it. Well, maybe we can talk about it after. I don't have to do this right now, but because it might take me a second. I don't want to waste the recorded video, but anyways, I just think it's really important for us to just know that. Yeah, and I think, I don't know, my next thing I'd like to do is like, I don't know if you guys saw this, and so I'm going to create one first and then show you guys for our next meeting, because so you've seen vision boards or have heard of vision boards, right? And I think it'd be really cool for us, like we can't do it together, obviously, because we don't live near each other, but I don't know if you guys saw it in Megan's Glam Squad, but she made a really cool one. And she said she had it on her phone, and it was a picture of her husband and a picture of her and her kids in the house and this car and all of her like goals. And she put it in just like a little, like, just like a graphic. And then she put hearts around the things that she achieved. And then the one thing was her house is yet, because they are building on it now. They had purchased the land, but now they're building the house. And I was like, that would be so neat, because I have all these goals in my mind about like what I want to do for my business. And I'm just trying to picture how I would put it in pictures sometimes, because for me, it's like being able to quit my job, stay at home with my babies, have like a hobby farm, like and then freedom. And so like I want to create something like that I have on my phone or something that we, you know what I mean, like to remind myself like this is why I keep doing it. And because I feel like the reason why I keep coming back to this is because I think that the thing that I find the hardest, or that people struggle the most with, is staying inspired. And you just really are not going to always be inspired. And that's the reality of it. There are plenty of days that I just don't want to do it. Just don't want to do it. But I do it anyways. Or like I said, I was doing the old lady makeup and I was in tears, saying how badly I'm embarrassed. I don't want to do it. Like, you know, but I was just tired. I was like overwhelmed. I couldn't, you know, and it wasn't the makeup. I mean, bottom line, I was exhausted and whatever, but it's part of it. Like not being organized and whatever, like it happens. I've had many tears. I've had heartbreaks with team members. I've had, you know, it's part of it, but my why keeps me going. And that's why I want you guys to just be aware of that. So in your lives, so that you may not always be inspired, but that you continue to go despite that. So it's really all I had to share for tonight. I was hoping for more of a attendance so that we could speak more about it, but hopefully people will watch the replay. Do you guys have any related or unrelated questions or comments before we end the meeting?
I do. How do you start when you have somebody join and they're not really sure what they want to do with it, and then they kind of procrastinate? You know what I mean? Like they're like asking for help, and then I don't know if it's because they're scared to do stuff, or like how to reach out to them, because they even gave me their why, but I still I feel like as a leader, like I'm not doing my job when people come on. Like,
right. Okay. So I think something we always have to remember, and Emily always reminds me of this when I'm struggling, is their business. And you can't want it more than they are. So I feel like it's always true for me that like my personally enrolled rarely want to actually do anything. But what I always do, I always say like, so like offer them the launch party, and I just do it for all of them. And I don't know if that's good or bad, because sometimes like, or at least the last few, there wasn't a whole lot of like doing it too. But that also gives you a message that kind of tells you, is that person actually going to want to work their business? All this stuff can change, but you can tell by the amount of effort that they put into it, like how much effort you should, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So you should not be, basically don't put more effort in than they do.
Okay.
Be available and straight up ask them, what do you want from me as your leader? So I do the launch party, give them posts, like I basically treat them as a hostess, and I can tell by their engagement if they're that interested.
Okay.
And then they should be in that Strong Start event, and I'm asking them, have you watched the video? How far are you in the event? Oh, I didn't have time because I had to work. So did I, but okay. So like, you know, like you can just tell. And so then you say, so the launch party ends. What would you like to do with this business? I'm not sure. Okay. What would you like from me then? Do you want to just come to me when you're sure or not sure? Or would you like me to reach out to you every so often? Just, boom.
Okay.
I would just from there reach out once a month. Unless you want to continue your relationship. But you don't want to you don't want to burn them out, because if they're just there for the discount, leave them alone. And you don't want to burn yourself out pushing somebody that doesn't want to be pushed.
And what do you just if they're going to go in the red or something, because it will tell you, should be like, as Stephanie's growing her team and like she has somebody that, you know, doesn't do anything, does she need to reach out? Do we need to reach out to them to say, hey, if you want to stay active, I was just letting you know? Do we do that, or?
Yeah, well, what I do for me, I go in my back office and Team Talk, and I go to the people that are about to suspend, and I email all of them because it tells them how much they need to purchase to stay active. But that goes to everybody in the team, so that would go to yours too. But if they are my like people that I've enrolled or that I know don't have a leader, then I will personally message them and just say, hey, just so you know, because sometimes they don't know, and you know, and then they'll want to like purchase just to keep their discount and to maybe grab a few people on their order so they don't have to spend that whole amount. So I would just say, hey, just so you can keep your discount, like remind them of the kudos, treat them as customers. They're loyal customers that are getting a discount.
Okay.
So.
Just checking. Because, you know, I just want to keep up on that. Trying to learn everything. And Stephanie's right behind me. Her team is growing. So I was just trying to make sure I touch base and get that out there before I forgot.
No, I know. No, that's good. That's a very good question. I think that's something that that we all have to learn and grow from, because it's difficult to know. And sometimes people don't tell you what they actually want, and they say they want it and then don't follow through with the action piece. So that's the hardest part, is figuring out when to step back, because your time is really precious, and not putting in more effort than they do. So just remember that your time is precious, and that because you may have more time now, but as you're seeing, you're getting less and less time because you have more and more girls. And
yes.
so eventually you're not going to have time for that. And it's going to play out. So
Okay.
you have to start that boundary right now.
Huh?
So you have to start creating that boundary right now.
Yes. It's not an easy boundary.
I know, because you're such a giver, and that's what givers do. I know that because I do the same thing. But anything else?
I just I'm trying to sign up another event
Hold
on the 23rd of April.
You're
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I emailed somebody about another vendor event for April 23rd. I think it's from like 11 to 3. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm going to be going up with like 2 or 3 other like makeup people. So I'm going to be picking you guys' brain if I even get in. How
so
to
there's other makeup.
Yeah, there's at least 2 other makeups. There's 31. There's Norwex. There's a bunch of other vendors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous about going up against other makeup or skincare people.
It's fine. Emily and I do a beauty or wedding one every single year. Mary Kay's there, other skincare people. Like, people just go and put things out and just have what you have. You had a really good display that one time. It was really nice.
Oh, thank you.
So, do you have, like, Sarah's near you, right?
Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could do it with her? You could do it with her?
Good.
It's just sometimes it's helpful to do it together.
Okay.
I don't know. You don't have to. But I'm just saying, like, it's more fun sometimes. I do a lot with Emily.
It would probably be good for her. She's super shy. Like, when she did her last week or 2 weeks ago, she did a makeup thing at home with somebody. She took me with her because she's just like, I don't want to go by myself.
I took Emily with me. It's the first few. It scared me. It terrified me, too. I was very, very shy. Like, you just grow. And I just think it's good it's just more networking. For me, vendor events is always more about networking than it really is about anything else. I've not really had, like, I'm doing a wedding for, like, one thing happened from our vendor event this last January. And it's a wedding, which is going to be a good one. Because and that's great, but it's more about networking. So we are almost up for time though, but if you guys need anything after that, let me know. Mandy, though, we do need to schedule our call. And for you, I do want to map with you alone, but then I want to talk to you about the group mapping because I was thinking I have some ideas. So we'll talk. I'll message you after that, okay?
I've reached out to everybody. Everyone's kind of given me bits and pieces, but they haven't given me their full like I put out today. So I'll be asking for those the next couple days or tomorrow.
I think a group one would be nice so people, because not everybody understands or knows, and I don't need, mapping's kind of hard, so it's just a good thing to know.
Yeah. But if they could give me what their goals are and my goals for them, maybe I challenge them a little bit.
Yeah, and then we can work together on those things too.
Okay.
Okay, bye girls. Thanks for coming.
Bye, Stephanie. Bye.
Bye.
Katie.